Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Midweek Minutes. This past Sunday, we had a message entitled VIP, and our passage was James chapter 2, verses 1 to 7. Let me read it for you. My dear brothers and sisters, how can you claim to have faith in our glorious Lord Jesus Christ if you favor some people over others? For example, suppose someone comes into your meeting dressed in fancy clothes and expensive jewelry, and another comes who is poor and dressed in dirty clothes. If you give special attention and a good seat to the rich person, but you say to the poor one, you can stand over there, or else sit on the floor. Well, doesn't this discrimination show that your judgments are guided by evil motives? Listen to me, dear brothers and sisters. Hasn't God chosen the poor in the world to be rich in faith? Aren't they the ones who will inherit the kingdom of the promise to those who love him? But you dishonor the poor. Isn't it the rich who oppress you and drag you into court? Aren't they the ones who slander Jesus Christ, whose noble name you bear? VIP. We're familiar with the term, very important persons. Now, I'm dressed, as you can see, and I'm typically more casual when I'm filming Midweek Minutes. But I wanted to prove a point. You may have had an impression, wow, he cleans up nicely. But for all you know, I could be treating this like a Zoom meeting, and I'm wearing my underwear under all this. But the point is, we have to see people differently. The world is so focused on outward appearance and don't take into account that we're all made in the image of God. Yes, we're called to be image bearers. And Pastor Mike said a very important point. He flipped the VIP and he said, we are people of intrinsic value. Yes, you and me, no matter your station in life, the very fact that God created you to bear his image in his likeness makes you special. No other creation can claim that distinction. Now I want to prove a point with this key. You see this key? This key is oftentimes in my pocket. And I get in my car and I start it without the key being present. How do I do that? Well, there's a push start, as I'm sure many of you have in your own car. And all I have to do is have that key present out of sight and push to start my car. There's a point on Sunday that says, God uses hardships to forge the key that unlocks the kingdom. Yeah. You see, when we get hardships, we can, as Pastor might say, go through those hardships, or we can grow through those hardships. And you know how we grow through those hardships? Just like my key. We push back against those hardships and activate our faith so that we can be people of intrinsic value, people who trust God and place their faith in God and realize that they are who they are because of whose they are. So I encourage you, don't view people by the world standards, whether they look good on the outside. Realize that people have intrinsic value that have been endowed to them by their Creator. And because of that, we ought to see people in that light and allow God's light to reflect who he is through the way we are. Thank you for joining me for another edition of Midweek Minutes. Hope to see you again next week. Bye for now.